Hi guys. Welcome back. Quick announcement. There will be shoutouts to the first, second, and third person to comment in any of my vid will get a shoutouts.
Back how they feel. If they don't like something, they express themselves, and that's a blessing and a curse. But on this particular day, it was a curse. So one day we were at Walmart and I was in the kitchen section. Then all of a sudden my kids come running to me with a man running after them. I said, hey, what are you doing chasing my daughters, as they hid behind me? Then before the man can even answer, my oldest daughter said he grabbed my youngest daughter and told her to come with him. But then my oldest daughter pushed him back and grabbed my youngest daughter and said, don't put your dirty ass hands on my sister. And this man's response to my daughter is when I lose my shit and black out. Like for Part 2 on how protecting my kids landed me in jail. Okay, so boom, like I said, my oldest daughter pushed him back and grabbed my youngest daughter and told him to get his dirty A hands off her little sister. And that's when they ran to me as he chased them and called them out their names. Then this man interrupts my daughter as she's explaining and tells her to shut the F up. I said, excuse me, who are you talking to? This man says, your daughter, B. Child, I took the nearest microwave and I slammed it in his face. He falls to the floor and I proceed to stomp on him. And mind you, I was wearing heels. Security ends up coming and separating the man from me and my daughters. And even though I explained that he grabbed my youngest daughter, they still put me in jail. But I was only in there for a couple hours and I had my oldest daughter drive back home and pick me up after. No charges against me, but I'm mad I got jail time for protecting my kids. It's my kids. Story time on how I caught my boyfriend cheating on me, so I stole his side piece and made her my girlfriend. Okay, so boom, we jumping right in. I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years and he knows that I'm bi. But it was one of those situations that you're with a guy for so long, people forget that you're even into girls. Because obviously I'm faithful to my man, but can't say the same for him. My boyfriend started to do the typical signs of a cheater. He was always texting and smiling on his phone. He was starting to see me a lot less, and he was giving excuses to why we never slept on the phone together anymore. Well, one night I was finally sleeping over and I knew this was my one chance to look through his phone because I probably wasn't going to see him for another week or two. While he was sleeping, I took his thumb and unlocked his phone. It didn't take me long to find his side piece. It hurt me so much to see him say he missed holding her and kissing her and a lot more graphic things. I went to his Instagram friend list and I put her name and I found her. Then I followed her. I put his phone back and then I left. And this is the beginning of the end. Like for part 2.
Story time about how he cheated on his baby mama with me. So a little background information. There was this boy and we're going to call him John. John and I knew each other through one of our mutual friends. Well, 24/7, John would post sad quotes on his Snapchat story because him and his girlfriend had just broken up. So I decided that I was going to be Captain Save-A-Ho and be there for him, telling him it was okay and that everything happens for a reason. Well, eventually John had developed a huge crush on me. Like, he would flirt with me 24/7, sending me all these cute emojis. And of course, my dumbass fell for it. So after talking for a little bit, him and I started dating. Well, the one day I was on Snapchat going through his story, and he was posting a bunch of funny memes on his story, and I was just laughing until I got to the last thing that he posted on his story. It was this picture of a baby girl saying, "I can't wait to meet you from Dada." So with my crazy ass, I jumped on the phone and started cussing him out. And then he goes, "What are you talking about? That's my little sister." Like for part 2. Part 2 about how he cheated on his baby mama with me. So like I said, when I confronted him about it, he said that it was a picture of his baby sister. Always with the Alabama shit, for what reason, I don't know. But he calls me the next day and he starts apologizing about everything. And then he decides to make a new Snapchat account and starts talking to me on there, thinking that I was just gonna block his other account. He posts a picture of his baby mama. So at this point, my Virgo self and I were done with the bullshit. By the way, he's a Gemini, so if that doesn't explain it, I don't know what will. So I start dating my new man, and I commented on all of his posts. I guess I'm not surprised she's not the only bitch you're fucking with. And if you try lying, I'm going to spill the tea. Like, I just think that it's really funny how females just think that their men are so loyal, even when you literally expose their man with every piece of evidence. Well, the girl who sent this in has a special message for all of us. I promise you that men ain't shit. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Storytime about the girl who tried to talk me into doing the nasty with her dad. Literally. So a little background information. 2 months before this whole situation, I had met her through one of my friends at a party. She was really funny, really nice. We're gonna call this girl Jessie. So when my friend and I left the party, I had asked her about Jessie, and she was like, oh, I wouldn't really hang around her. She's just like a really weird person. Now, I didn't really take my friend's word for it, mainly because in the past, my friend has gotten really jealous whenever I've started hanging out with other people. So I decided to find out for myself, which now I realize that was probably not one of my best ideas. So a few weeks later, we hung out with her again, and I got her number that night. Her and I started hanging out a lot. And her and I were both seniors in high school. Well, when I would go over to her house, her dad would be super weird around me. He would just be very overly nice and touchy with me. And her mom and her dad were divorced. Well, the one night I'm sitting in Jessie's room and she comes upstairs and she's like, OMG, I have to tell you what my dad said. Like for part 2. Okay, part 2 about the girl who tried to talk me into doing the nasty with her dad. Literally. Like I said, she comes upstairs to her bedroom and she's like, OMG, I have to tell you what my dad just said about you. And she would literally do this all the time. She would be like, oh, my dad just said that you're so pretty, or my dad just said that if you were his age, he would totally date you. And just like super weird things like that. Well, I was like, oh, like what did he say? And she was like, OMG, I feel so weird telling you. Like, I really don't want to tell you. She was like, I feel like you'll think he's weird. Low-key, she didn't know that I already thought that he was weird. But I was like, oh, okay. She was like, okay, fine, I'll just tell you. My dad said that he would totally fuck you. And I was like, oh, that's really gross. Like, he's really fucking weird for that. And she was like, no, you should totally do it. And I was like, no, I'm good. Like, that does not make me feel comfortable. And she was like, dude, you don't understand. He'll pay you. And her dad was super rich, like he owned 4 of his own companies and everything. But still, that was not enough to bribe me to do it with this man. So I grabbed my stuff and I am like about to walk out of her room. And she's like, wait, no, don't go. Like, I was just joking. And I was like, no, I'm still gonna leave. And she was like, no, please, please, please don't. Like, how are you gonna get home? I'm not driving you. So I start walking down the stairs and I stop and look into the living room and I see her dad laying naked on the couch, just watching the stairs. It's like he was literally waiting for me to come down here to do the nasty with him. So I start running out the door and her dad chases me and he's like, hey, like, where are you going? What's wrong? And I'm like covering my eyes. I turn around and I'm like, you're what's fucking wrong. You're so fucking gross. After that, she texted me begging me not to tell anybody, and I don't really see her anymore except for when we go to parties and she just happens to be there.
Story time on how my mom tried to convince me to have a threesome with her. So I had just graduated high school, and my mom was single for a while. Then she started dating this guy, which me and my brother really liked, but he was a few years younger than my mom. And honestly, we were happy for her. She was very depressed and miserable with my dad, so we were okay with it because she was finally happy. So like I said, I had just graduated high school, and I always said I never wanted to go to college, so I started working retail. One day while I was at work, my mom called me and said, hey, let's go out shopping. And who am I to say no? So after I got out of work, I met my mom and we went lingerie shopping. That's what she specifically wanted to get. So we were at the store and the first thing she said was, let's get matching sets, which was weird coming from my mom. But I said, fine, come back for part 2. Story time on how my mom tried to convince me to have a threesome with her. So she said, I know it sounds crazy now, but hear me out. And then Brian jumped in and said, it's not an actual threesome. What we really want is for you to watch us, but we want you to wear your mom's same lingerie. And I freaked out and literally rashed my mom and told her that for her, I would do anything. But that is so inappropriate, so disgusting. And most important of all, I said, I'm your daughter. And only after all of that, she realized what she tried to propose me was wrong. And she kicked Brian out and tried to tell me how she was so sorry that she's embarrassed for herself. And guys, I called my dad, moved in with my dad. I have some communication with my mom, but after that day, nothing will ever be the same.
This is why you should never eat peanut butter. So my cousin just had her baby girl, and she was just getting around and learning to be a new mommy. But she was really messy when it came to changing diapers. When Father's Day came, she threw the party and invited all the family and their kids. When everyone gets there, everyone is having a good time, and she pulls out bread and starts making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for all the kids. In the middle of her preparing, her daughter starts crying, and it's because she needed her diaper changed. So she went into the bathroom to change her diaper, and after she got done, she handed her to me and